Studio Microphone 10 True Terrifying Deep Woods Horror Stories from Appalachian Mountain Untold Fears. Introduction. Narrator. Opening. The Appalachian Mountains are beautiful, but they hide secrets older than time itself. Stretching across the eastern United States, they're filled with endless forests, abandoned settlements, ghost towns, and whispers of things that shouldn't exist. For generations, travelers, hikers, and locals have reported terrifying encounters deep within these woods. Tonight, I'll share with you 10 true terrifying stories from the Appalachian Mountains. Some come from hikers, some from truckers, and some from families who live too close to the wilderness. One thing is certain, after hearing these stories, you may think twice before stepping into the deep woods alone. So dim the lights, and let's begin. Story 1. The Whistling in the Pines. A young couple camping deep in West Virginia hears strange whistling echoing through the trees at 3 a.m. At first, they assume it's another hiker. But the sound follows them, circling their tent. When they shine their flashlight outside, the whistling stops, but they spot bare human footprints pressed into the cold mud, leading directly to their campsite. Story 2. The Vanishing Cabin. A hunter claims he stumbled upon an old log cabin deep in the Appalachian backcountry. Hungry and tired, he went inside, seeing a table set with rotting food, as if abandoned suddenly. He left quickly and marked the location. But when he returned with friends the next morning, the cabin was gone, replaced only by a clearing and an old stone foundation, swallowed by the earth. Story 3. Something in the Fog. Two night hikers in North Carolina are caught in a sudden thick fog. They hear heavy breathing behind them, but every time they turn, there's nothing there. Their dog growls, refusing to move forward. Then, out of the mist, they see a tall, gaunt figure with glowing eyes, standing completely still, watching them. Story 4. The Man with No Face. In Virginia, a truck driver resting at a pull-off near the Appalachian Trail saw a man standing at the tree line. He waved at him, only to realize the man had no facial features at all. The driver fled, but swears he saw the faceless man appear again in his rearview mirror, standing in the middle of the road. Story 5. Screams from the Hollow. Locals near an abandoned mining town in Kentucky tell of nightly screams echoing from a hollowed-out valley. One group of teenagers decided to investigate, bringing flashlights. What they found was horrifying: a cave entrance filled with claw marks and human handprints scratched into the stone. They didn't stay to find out what was making the screams. Story 6. The Thing That Ran on All Fours. A hiker was descending a trail when he heard rustling in the trees. Suddenly, a creature burst out, a man-sized figure running on all fours at inhuman speed. Its limbs bent the wrong way, its face hidden in shadow. It ran parallel to him for nearly a mile before vanishing into the tree line. Story 7. The Woman by the River. A fisherman camping by a river in Tennessee woke up to see a pale woman in a white dress standing knee-deep in the water, staring at him. He shouted, but she didn't move. When he blinked, she was suddenly gone, yet the bottom of his tent was soaking wet, as if someone had dragged river water across it. Story 8. The Howling on Blood Mountain. A group of college students backpacking across Blood Mountain in Georgia reported hearing howls, too deep to be wolves, too guttural to be human. On their last night, they found large claw marks carved into the side of a tree, far higher than any bear could reach. They cut their trip short and never returned. Story 9. The Shadow in the Firelight. An older man recalls camping with his father in the 1970s. While sitting around the fire, they noticed a dark shadow standing just outside the firelight. It never moved closer, but they felt watched all night. In the morning, they found a perfect circle of stones laid around their campsite that hadn't been there the night before. Story 10. The Appalachian Silence. Perhaps the most terrifying comes from a hiker who described how the forest suddenly went completely silent, not a bird, not a cricket, not even the wind. Then, from the stillness, he heard something whisper his full name right into his ear. He ran until he collapsed on the roadside, vowing never to return to the Appalachian deep woods again. Closing narration. The Appalachian Mountains hold beauty beyond words, but also darkness older than memory. These stories remind us that sometimes the most terrifying things are not ghosts, but the mysteries hidden in places untouched by time. So if you ever find yourself deep in those mountains, and the forest suddenly grows quiet, remember these stories. And maybe, just maybe, don't look back.